Hello everybody, this is thejonnymar, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy VI Advance. So we are jumping into this hole that was made in the cliff when we beat Tridach last time. And you have to be careful while down here because you see those discolored points? Those are actually little traps that will drop you to the floor below. So if you want to get all the treasure in here, you have to be very, very careful about where you step. And we are going to fight a very difficult monster in a box. It's our good friends, the Toneberries. So those of you that have played Final Fantasy games before, you've seen these guys. And they are pretty much as tough as they are in the other games. They have a lot of HP. They slowly kind of walk their way towards your party, and if they do manage to get to you, they will stab you with their knife and kill you, or do massive damage. And they counterattack pretty much any major ability with Holy. And all of that combines with 3 of them at one time. Oh, come on, Mog. Don't be stumbling. That's another reason why I don't like Mog. Not only are his dances random, but you can stumble and you lose a turn then. But we'll keep at it. So I'm going to be using Celeste to heal during this battle. I'm going to try to steal with Locke. I don't think these guys have anything that you can steal. And I think they're actually immune to instant death too. So Snare, yeah, isn't going to work. So they either have a really high evasion that they can dodge the Mug ability, or they don't have anything to steal. I think it's the evasion though. Alright, one down. And you can tell they're a very difficult boss because they do the little fadeaway as opposed to the explosion death. And you gotta love the Minerva on Celeste. It renders any of these elemental attacks pretty much useless. Only 140 damage. That's amazing. That would probably do close to 1,000 damage to anyone else. As long as I don't attack with anyone else besides Sabin with his bum rush, I don't have to worry about that counterattack. And this isn't the only time you're going to see these guys. Now, they don't, I believe, appear as a random encounter, but there is another monster in a box a little bit later where you're going to face a kind of king of the Toneberries. And they used to be called pugs in the original translation for some reason. Not sure why. Mog, you could do something other than Snare, please. Useless. Now, there are a couple other reasons to drop down here. We have this fight, which gets us a pretty awesome item. And then there are some other items, but there's also a character down here that Mog mentioned when we picked him up. So we're going to be getting that extra character for our party, a secret character of sorts, in a little bit. Alright, cave in. Well, it's something different. Still miss, though. I hate missing blitzes. Alright, there we go. What do we get? Another Minerva. Sweet. So now we can have 2. And there's an example of one of the drop floors. But we can have 2 female characters with the Minerva equipped. Now let's get my bearings here. Let's head over here and we'll grab this chest. A gauntlet. Woo. And then there's one more chest for us to get. I think it's up here to the north. So if I hook around, gets an X-Ether maybe? Yes. Sweet. Alright. And so now we just need to go find the character. You guys remember what it is? Well, I mentioned it briefly when we picked him up. It's a Yeti, or Sasquatch. So don't hit that switch because it'll just drop you. But this switch takes us to the Yeti's room. And to activate the fight, you have to look in this little carving here. And we get a new magicite shard. The formerly called Tarato. Now it's called Migard Sormor. Something like that. And we irritate the owner of such magicite. And here he comes. Bam. So this guy is a brute. He can use ice elemental attacks, as you can see. And he can also do pretty powerful physical damage. And what's interesting about him is partway through the fight, he's going to basically give himself a green cherry. Now, green cherries are basically used to get rid of imp status, but for this Yeti, it actually serves a power-up for him, and it'll make him much, much stronger. My hope is we can beat him off before that happens, but I doubt it. Nope. Here it goes. Energized. And he can actually now jump on your party members, so he'll leap up off the screen if you give him a chance and come down on you with massive damage. But I'm gonna guess one more bum rush will probably be good enough to finish him off. Yep. Not too tough. That's okay, Yeti. We forgive you. And now we're gonna accept you into our party. You and all of your 10 Jill. So talk to him. And as long as you have Mog with you in your party, he'll talk some sense into him and convince him to join you. And we get Umaro. Now, Umaro is not a very useful character overall. His actions are completely randomized if you use them in battle. And so he'll either physical attack, or there's a couple of relics you can equip him with that will change his attacks a little bit. But other than that, he's pretty strong, good physical attacker, but the fact that he's randomized means I don't really use him much. So now that we have him, what I'll do is I'll meet you guys outside Narsh, and we will continue on with a couple of side quests. Alright, so I switched Edgar back into my party. I actually equipped the Curse Shield so that we can start uncursing that. And when you do have that equipped, you want to make sure you have a ribbon on to get rid of most of the status ailments. And I got rid of the Moogle Charm so that with Mog, we can actually get into fights and get more dances. So to get Mog's dances, if you remember, you have to get into random encounters on various different types of terrain. So we already have the snow terrain and the cave terrain. But this is going to get us the plains terrain. And as the leapfrog back there, as you see, as its name tells you, it likes to use the jump command. So we'll probably kill off these little guys quickly, but then we'll have to wait for the leapfrog to come back. And as you notice, the Cursed Shield, the ribbon does take care of most of the status ailments, but you still have Condemned on. So that slowly you have that timer above your character, and that's going to count down as you... Ooh, a Tortoise Shield. As you are in battle. You have to make sure you beat battles before that hits. Yeah, the Tortoise Shield's pretty awesome. Now, it's part of a unique set of armor that you can get for just imps. And there's actually a way in this game to get that set of armor and then turn your character into an imp character with the imp magic spell, and they'll become super powerful. I don't usually do that, but that is an option that you have. Now, we're in Narshi here, so by fighting and getting an attack with Mog, we can learn another of his dances for being in a city. There we go. Mastered a new dance. So now we got the Wind Rhapsody, and the Love Serenade. So that's halfway. He only has 8 dances. So there are 2 other dances we can pick up at this point. We can get one from the desert, and we can also get one from the forest. So let's head down to the Figaro Desert, and we'll get into a fight there to get in that dance. And then we'll head over towards South Figaro to get the forest dance. So just walk around like a fool and wait to get into a battle. Come on. Attack me. I know we're powerful and you'll probably die. Okay. Cancer? Okay. So, as you can tell, most enemies not very tough, although there is a pretty difficult encounter that you can get into randomly in most deserts. Luckily we didn't. It's a kind of a dragon type enemy that will really beat your party down. It has some powerful attacks. Let's head over to this forest and we'll get the last dance we can get right now. Now the other 2 dances you can get with Mog are the Water Rondo, and then there's one you can get for being on a mountain. And there's only one mountain that I know of, or can think of actually, during the second part of the game, and that'll be once we progress the storyline a little bit farther. So we'll have to wait a little bit on that one. And the Water Rondo, we can only get that in the Game Boy Advance version during the second half of the game. Because the only time you fight a water-based encounter is when you take on one of the extra espers that were added to this game. And we'll be doing that as soon as we can handle his damage. Alright, so I'm going to continue to put a couple of battles towards the Cursed Shield. Remember, you have to put in about 250 plus 255 or so battles with the Cursed Shield equipped in order to uncurse it. So I put in 4 or 5 so far. And I'm going to come back to Solitary Island. There's some really easy enemies here. I'm going to walk around for a bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to take on some enemies, and I'm going to put about 50 battles in. And once I've done that, I will come back, and we will continue on with another little side quest. So here are the enemies. Now they die instantly if you don't do anything, because they only have 2 health, as you can see. But you can also kill them off. So I will see you guys back here in a little bit. Alright, so I've got 55 battles toward my Cursed Shield. Now we're going to do one of the most tedious side quests in the game. So lift off with your airship, push a little bit to the left or the right so that you're a little off center, and start flying around. And you may have encountered this monster already, flying around. It's very rare, but here we go. Deathgaze. So this is one of the legendary creatures that were unleashed when Kefka destroyed the world. As you can see, automatically uses level 5 Doom, and Edgar is at level 30, so he kicks the bucket right away. Now, Deathgaze only appears on one space on the board. So basically on the entire overworld map, there's only one little space, or maybe 2. I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2, but it's not very frequent. And you have to pass over that space in order to get into encounter with him. So sometimes you get really lucky and you just happen to pass over that space and fight him. But other times you can end up flying around for 15 minutes, 20 minutes before you actually encounter him. And he's got around 50,000 hit points. And it's pretty much impossible unless you're super powered to beat him in one try. And so as you do more damage to him, what'll happen is he'll run away from you. Like so. And so then you have to chase after him and beat him down again. So what I'm going to do is chase him. And when I find him again, like so, I will let you guys see me fight him. Well, that took about a minute of flying. It was actually pretty quick. So I've been pretty lucky so far with both times. And the longer you wait to do this, obviously, the better your chances of finishing him off in only a couple battles. I doubt I'll be able to beat him this time. I'll probably have to encounter him at least once more. Because I'm only getting about 10,000 to 15,000 damage in per encounter. And I like to use Runic because he has some pretty powerful magic spells. He uses Ice 3. He also uses Arrow, which Runic can't actually block. And then he uses Death as well. And as you see, he's got some pretty powerful physical attacks. This is Arrow, a wind elemental attack. It's going to do massive damage. Oh, you jerk. So since I've fought him twice, I'm going to actually save, use a tent, and then I will come back once I find him for the third time. And hopefully that'll be the last. Alright. Round 3. Fight. So that one took about 5 minutes for me to find him. Which, all in all, very quick. I had times where I've been flying around, and basically he was on like the spot one away from where I started, so I had to go all the way around the world, and it took like 20 or 30 minutes for me to do that. So hopefully this will be the last time. And you may be asking me, you know, is Deathgaze or Doomgaze really worth it? And I would say yes, he is. Because what you end up getting is a magicite shard when you beat him. Come on, Sabin, take him out. Yes! The Fiend is defeated. And I can mark that off my list. One of my least favorite side quests. And the magicite shard you get is not anything to sneeze at. You get the King of the Dragons, Bahamut. Or Bahamut, as I always called it. And Bahamut is useful for one reason and one reason alone, and that is to give you flair. So I'm going to land here. Show you quickly the Esper Magicite. It also gives you a plus 50% HP bonus at level up. That's nice. And I'm going to again save, and in my next episode we will continue on and get another character. So as always, viewers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.